Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, April 2nd today. So, the end of the week here. Good Friday. So, thank you for watching on Good Friday. So, today we're talking about leads and how to convert more leads. Now, number one thing, I'm going to put my twist on this and my opinion on this. Because a lot of times when you say leads, sometimes I ask agents, I say, how many leads do you have? And they say, well, I didn't get any today. What do you mean you didn't get any leads today? The first response most agents have leads, something that's coming to them. They didn't go out and get it. This is my take on it because a lot of coaches, a lot of classes talk about leads like things that are coming into falling into your lap. You know, you're getting an internet lead, you're getting a call off your sign, you have an open house, you're getting a referral from someone. Whatever things that just fall into your lap. And especially when you're generating leads, like if you do a Facebook ad or if you have a listing and you're getting those internet leads or you're getting signed calls or whatever, a lot of agents think those are the only leads, the word leads. But while I'm discussing this, you got to think of every person you talk to is a lead on that. So I'm going to give you some statistics. So again, think of this, not just incoming leads, because this goes like if you got an internet lead from a website, from one of your listings, or if you sign up through your office or through our office or through any other office, or you pay for Zillow leads. Here are some statistics on leads, is that only 5% convert on the first call. Only 5%. So I'm going to go through a few things, and then I'm going to go back to this. Is that 5% on the first call? 68% of people, of leads, or I say anybody you talk to that is potentially buying or selling a house in the future, it takes 8 to 10 or 12 conversations for 68 and you'll close 68% of the people you talk to. Leads, conversations you've had with people, not emails, not just text messages, not mailers, conversations you have with people. 68% will close with you if you have 8 to 12 conversations with them over the period of time. So, and the average agent, the average is five times. Let me rephrase that. The average successful agent only follows up about 5 times. So there's a lot of deals and a lot of leads that are left on the table, even by the best agents out there. So let me go back to that 5%. If you get a lead or talk to someone, if you do not have a follow-up plan to talk to them, it's like winning the lottery. 5% chance that you'll convert them the first time you talk to them. It's almost not worth your time if you're only going to talk to a lead one time, if you do not have a follow-up plan in order. So think about that. Think about what you're doing, and I'm going to go over some ideas here of what you're doing for your follow-up plan to convert leads. It takes 8 to 12 conversations to convert most leads. And in marketing, if anybody took Marketing 101 in college, it always says it takes a minimum of just a product, just someone seeing a product. It takes minimum 7 times for them to see that product, to see a commercial, to see an advertisement, to get a call, to drive by, whatever. Minimum 7 times in your brain, you have to see that product or service before someone even thinks about using or getting that product. If you remember Marketing 101, freshman year of college, if you took business classes. But that always stuck with me from the time I took that marketing classes. 7 times it takes someone to at least visually see something in any product. In real estate, and that's to use something. In real estate, you got to time it right. So you could talk to someone 7 times in a 2-year period, but if they're not looking to buy for 5 years, if you stop after the second year of following up with them, you just wasted all of that time. So my thought is this: you never stop following up with people till they buy or sell a house with you, until they or till they say and they're mad at you, do not contact me ever again. Then take them off your list if they're upset about it. So, because again, if they don't like you, trust you, and they hate you for following up with them, good. That is a good place to be. You know why? Because I don't have that percentage, but more people, you're going to get more business. If you're not getting any response, like if you're calling people and following up with people and you're not getting business and you're not getting people mad at you for contacting them, you're not doing something right. No response, good or bad, is bad. So I tell agents this when I'm coaching them: you got to keep on calling people until they get mad at you. I mean, not them, not a specific person, but you have to have some negativity in there, because then you're doing your job. That means that you're contacting enough people, and I guarantee you more people appreciate the call and follow up. And of course, I'm not going to go into a long video today about the scripts you should say, but I'm happy to meet with anybody one-on-one and talk about different scripts. Century 21 HomeStar agents, you go to our learning center, you go to our university, there's a whole bunch of scripts of things that you could say to leads and things in there. But so if you're not going to follow them up with forever, you just wasted. So that example I was saying, if you stop after 2 years and they didn't buy from you and they didn't yell at you to stop, you just wasted all of your time over 2 years. So think about that. Time is money. You just wasted all of that time to not continue following up with them. So other things to think about is how much are you spending on leads if you're buying leads, or you're doing advertisement, Facebook ads, or social networking, or mailers, or whatever. What are you spending to get responses? You got to look at that and make sure you're getting a return on that. And then also think about all of the time you're spending, like I just said, on following up with leads and when you're stopping. So there's a few things, and I've said a few of them already, and I wrote them down in my notes. There's basically 3 reasons why agents are not converting their leads, and I just said a few of them. One is no long-term follow-up is number one. Number 2, they don't keep on thinking, and keep this in your head, 8 to 12 conversations. Think of that. So when you're talking to someone and you're going to follow up with them, think 8. I have to have a minimum of 8 to 12 conversations with this person. It's a prospect. It's someone in your database. It's your sphere of influence. 8 to 12 conversations over a couple years, over a lifetime, somewhere in there. Sometime between the time you meet them and they're a lead that comes in, someone you reach out to, someone you network with, between the time they meet you and the time they buy or sell a house, 8 to 12 conversations in there. Keep thinking of that. And most agents just do the 5%, the people that need to buy now and sell now. Yes, of course, those are important. But then when you shut off everything else, when you get that 5%, say you made 100 phone calls and you talked to 100 people, you get 1 or 2 that are looking to buy or sell now, then what happens? You get in your car, you start working on those deals, you start babysitting the deals you have now, and you stop following up with people because you have deals now that you're working on. It's the roller coaster of real estate. You got deals, yay, I'm working on deals. They get paid, and then there's nothing in the pipeline because you didn't follow up with people. And the worst thing is for those agents, and any of you watching this that have done follow-up for years, the worst. You know what the worst is? I think you know this. The worst is when you call someone and you haven't followed up with them in a while, and you're just jumping back in it to catch up, and they bought a house or sold a house because a year went by, 6 months went by, 2 years went by, and you're going back to your database of old leads because you're just trying to drum up business, and you found more people bought or sold in the last couple, between the time you contact them last and time now, then the people are looking now. It's so sad when you know I lost that opportunity, and it happens to everybody. You're not going to get all of them. People are going to fall through the cracks, but the follow up will help. Keep the cracks small, fall through the cracks. Now, here's some ideas of things that you need to do for a follow up program. One, you got to pick a good CRM or follow up program or system that you're going to use. You know what the best one is? I know you've heard this before. You've heard it from me. You've heard it from other people. What's the best system that you can use? The one that you're going to use and you like using. It doesn't matter which it is, but here's some things that you have to have in this system. An easy way to add people, easy way to export if you need to export, something easy for you to do that you don't spend a lot of time on, one that's mobile friendly, one that reminds you, has a daily calendar that reminds you of people that you have to contact. It should have a way to put people automatically in an email campaign. It reminds you, again, it's a calendar and contact management system, and contacts together. And there's some great ones that are real estate specific. Like here at Century 21, we have great ones. We have Business Builder and Zap that you can use, and they're two different kinds of systems. You could use those. Those are free, and they're different ways to use them. And Zap is a good one that connects with your website also. Also, there's some ones that are specific to all agents out there. Any agent can get them at any company. One's contractually, and the other one's Boomtown. A lot of agents use. Those are two ones. There's Top Producer still. There's different ones out there. But it all comes down to which one you want to use. I mean, some agents use just flat out Google. You got your calendar, you got your contacts, you could put it all together like any other business person and following up with clients and leads. Or Salesforce is one. So anything that you like to use. Another one that I like to use, and actually I use myself, is called HubSpot. HubSpot, HUBSPOT, HubSpot. And that one's free. You can get a free version of it. And it's got a lot of cool things in there. The reason why I use it, started using it years ago and don't want to change. So that happens. So if you've been using something, I've seen agents do this. Like, I've been using this, and then they want to spend weeks, months, whatever, changing their whole system, thinking that a new system is going to make them even more efficient or more successful. Usually not. If you have a contact management system now and it has those main functions, you could continue using it. Don't use that as an excuse to start a whole new one on that. Number two, you find a CRM. Number two is, what is your formula of how you're contacting, calls, text, emails, mailers, door knocking. If you like Brian Buffini, he's a great real estate coach. He calls them pop buys, of when you're stopping by people's houses, the people that you're on your in your database, in your sphere of influence. So you got to come up with a formula, and my opinion, it can be different for each person. So every time you enter in someone, example, you find, I'm just going to go into a little bit of training here. You talk to someone, it's a sphere, it's a lead, and you get out of them of when they think they're going to be buying or selling. Now you have a timeline. If they say, well, we're going to be buying or selling within a year, you better be calling them every week or two. Over the next year. If they're saying we're going to buy 2 years from now, maybe every month, and then when you get into next year, every couple weeks. If they say 5 years from now, maybe every quarter, and every maybe 6 months, and then when you get closer to that because a lot of people move their timeline up. But contact means conversations with them, so you can catch them when they change their timeline. Raise your hand. Have you ever had a buyer or seller change their timeline? Say, I want to sell now, decide not to sell. I want to buy now, decide not to buy. Or I'm going to buy now, I want to buy in 2 years, buy, and then all of a sudden they're calling you, I want to buy tomorrow. So people change their timeline. So you got to have a conversation with them to make sure that timeline's still there. So, little call like, hey, Joe, this is Tony Geraci with Century 21 HomeStar. Just following up with you. I remember we talked about a year ago. You said you were thinking about buying in about 2 years from now. It's just thinking if that is still your timeline. I want to be the person, your trusted real estate advisor to help you buy your next home, and would love to be that person for you. Is that next year you're still looking at that? And ask them, when's their timeline? Like, oh, actually, we just put an addition on our house, and we're going to stay here another 7 years, 10 years. Okay, great. Change the timeline. Or yes, we just had a baby, and we have 3 kids now. Because in a year, little spoiler alert, you can have a baby within a year. And all of a sudden, last time you talked to them, they were a family of 3, and now they're a family of 4 or 5. Can't do it. Well, twins. Some of you caught me on that one. And then they move the timeline up. So you have to have conversations, not just a mailer or in hopes that they call you. And then 3 and last is you got to track and measure how many calls you're getting over a career. You got to track how many calls it takes you to get someone to buy or sell for you, what your average is of how many times you talk to them, how many your sphere of influence or your leads you're in your database, how many times or how often are they moving. There's things like that. The thing that baffles me is that agents right now that have been in the business 20 years and have sold hundreds of houses and don't have a reoccurring business. You've been in the business 20 years. I guarantee you the people you sold houses to 20 years ago have already bought and sold probably 2-3 times in the last 20 years. And if you didn't get those sales. So think about that. You have to when you're building your business, either if you're starting now as a brand new agent or you want to get going again, and you want to do this for a long period of time, it's a snowball effect. It should be a snowball effect, but most agents don't. Most agents do not do it this way, and that's why 87% of realtors every 5 years get out of the business, is because they're not doing these things. They're not following up with their past clients. They're not following up with every single person that they talk to that they know that someday in the future they're going to buy or sell a house. You just got to get a system. It's that hard and that easy. It's like the easiest thing to do and the hardest thing to do at the same time. So that's it for today. Hopefully it gives you some ideas and some things that you need to do to follow up. It's again, almost that easy. It's a numbers game. It's just a way of being organized, follow up. Those are the main things. And all the other things like the scripts and the way you say things and how if they like you and trust you and your demeanor and your mindset, that's all fits in there too. But you can't have all of that without the follow-up, and because they could know you, trust you when you talk to them the first time. If you don't follow up with them 5 years from now and they're buying 6 years from now, they're going to forget about you. So think about that. So that's it for today. Have a great Friday. Happy Friday, and have a good weekend, and we'll see you at noon on Monday. Bye-bye.